Episode 13 is officially my least favorite episode of the entire series, My Demon. It just seemed like the writers were trying to stall.
I feel the same way. I'm not really surprised because it happens in a lot of Kdrama. Episode 13, even 14, there was no real story there, in my opinion. Yes, there are some revelations there, but there was no real story there. Now that Gohan has regained his memories of his time as a human, he's determined to make Do-hee happy. He hopes that this time they'll have their happily ever after. As they enjoy their bliss and plan for Christmas, Do-hee is triggered while passing the scene of car accident that took the lives of her parents. Gohan notices the effect of her unresolved trauma as she throws herself into work. And one time he came to the office and he saw her crying. She was actually having a nightmare. Determined to always see her happy, he infiltrates her dream and gives her a lovely dream where she spends time with her parents and Madame Jude.
But just for the drama, they cannot stay happy forever. Both of them later join Seokmin in his house for a family dinner alongside Seokhon. And during this dinner, he asks that they give him their shares of the company, but they refuse to do. Seokmin actually wants to make some kind of drastic change that will affect the employees of this company, but in order to do so, he will need both shares from Do-hee and Seokhon. Now that they refuse, he threatens to dismiss Seokhon from the board. So Do-hee storms into his office to confront him, and that is when she finally realizes that he's a killer, Abrax.
Meanwhile, Gohan meets Sarah at the hospital, so that's Seokmin's wife, and he offers her freedom if she gives him back his manual and also tells him the truth. Back to Do-hee and Seokmin, he tells her that Madame Ju was responsible for the death of her parents and that Do-hee was just her ticket to heaven, and then he attacks Do-hee.
We'll move on to episode 4, and just in the nick of time, Gyeowon comes to rescue Do-hee from this confrontation, and then he teleports them to the top of this clock tower. But Seokmin is not actually scared because he's very familiar with the demon manual by now, and he knows that Gyeowon is not going to kill him. But Gyeowon threatens that he will make his life very miserable until he begs for death. Do-hee pleads with Seokmin to confess his crimes, but he's not going to do that. But when Gyeowon tells him that his wife, Sarah, is already at the police station with evidence against him, he decides to jump. News of his suicide and his crimes spread really quickly, but the thing here is that his body is never found.
Haunted by Seokmin's words about her parents' death, Do-hee confides in Seokhon and Gyeowon, while Seokhon dismisses them as lies, fearing the potential devastation on Do-hee. Gyeowon remains uneasy. He assures his wife of his unwavering support, promising to be there whenever she calls his name. Still consumed by doubt, Do-hee seeks answers from Madame Ju's former secretary. Reveals that Madame Ju's knee injury was around the time of Do-hee's parents' death due to a chronic illness. This fuels Do-hee's suspicions, driving her and Gyeowon to visit Madame Ju's church.
When they arrived at the church, they were welcomed by this priest. Surprisingly, the priest was actually expecting Do-hee to come, and there he reveals the truth to her because Madame Ju already confessed to him and told him that if Do-hee ever comes to ask, he should please tell Do-hee the truth about this. So here's the thing, he explains that her parents actually tried to blackmail Madame Ju. In rage, Madame Ju starts pursuing them. They had this car chase. Do-hee's father actually knew he was about to die, so he just wants to help the employees in the company, and also he wanted to make it in time to say goodbye to his daughter. But during this chase, they lose control of the car and they had an accident. Just then, Gyeowon appears. He starts begging Gyeowon that he should extend his contract, save his wife, and he wants to see his daughter again. But we already know that you only get 10 years and just one contract when it comes to these deals with the demon. So he gets a heart attack and he dies. Madame Ju actually witnesses this entire event. Gyeowon even approaches her and tells her what does she wish for, but she cannot speak. She's just standing still in shock. And there's this explosion. That was when she actually hurt her nail.
Do-hee is overwhelmed by the revelation and Gyeowon's involvement tries to maintain a facade of normalcy. However, Gyeowon overhears her crying in the bathroom. Gyeowon confronts the priest who wants him to stay away from Do-hee and reminds him of the past encounter with Madame Ju. Now Do-hee and Gyeowon are both devastated.
In her pain, Do-hee decides to visit Madame Ju at her grave, and unknowing to her, Gyeowon actually finds her. He overhears her wondering if everything that has happened would have happened if she had knowledge of what actually happened to her parents. That's when Gyeowon leaves. But what he did not hear was that she wondered what her father actually wished for. And despite this entire confusion, Do-hee is willing to continue their relationship, so she visits Gyeowon's office and She's taking a tour of the hallway of clocks. Then a woman stumbles into his office. Her contract is about to expire and she's pleading that Gyu-won takes everything back from her. She doesn't want to go to hell. But Gyu-won tells her he's not an angel but a demon, and he watches her die. Secretly witnessing this is Doi in the hallway. She's devastated to see this brutal side of Gyu-won. When he approaches her, she actually retreats in fear.
Second solace, Go-won turns to God, who tells him humans are their own hell, and it's not Go-won's fault. Later, he meets up with Doi and they go on a walk. Doi tries to deviate and just talk about happy stuff, but Go-won tells her no and tells her to save herself from her current hell and lets go of her hand, and he disappears. Doi remains frozen in shock as she calls out his name, but sadly, Go-won is gone. I don't think there's anything noteworthy in these 2 episodes. Yes, there was a revelation about Udoi's father deal with the demon. I just think that the story is falling apart. Yes, we're anticipating this part of Madame Ju's involvement with Doi's parents, but honestly, I do not care. I just want the series to be over.
Half of episode 13 was just unbearable for me. Maybe these events or these reveals that happened in episode 13 and 14, they had cut some unnecessary scenes and things that are not relevant to not feel like, okay, is this really relevant to the entire story? The reveals, was I surprised to see these things? Not really. I think I kind of predicted it that Madame Ju did not, but I was hoping that she actually signed a deal. I still feel like they wasted a lot of time for them to reveal that Seok-min was actually the one responsible for all these deaths. Was it necessary that his son had to die just a few episodes later or very next episode? We have just 2 episodes left to end this series, and the only thing now that I'm interested in saying is Seok-min's body, because he fell. I have a theory for that.
Obviously, anybody will know that Seok-min is not dead and he's back again to attack Doi.
My theory now is that Seok-min did not like human beings, just like our demon here, and he took his own life.
So he will become a demon too.
Is it possible that he is going to become a demon as well?
At episode 15 and 16?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Tower is really high, and I don't know how he's going to survive that. Either there's another demon or God decides to allow him.
It's possible, but if he becomes a demon, he cannot kill Doi. That's one. Because in the next episode, we see that someone came to meet Doi and cover her nose. I just think he did not die. So I don't think he's going to be a demon. It would be nice to be surprised, but I don't think there's anything going to surprise me or blow my mind in the coming episodes. I just want it to be over. I can't wait for Friday and Saturday to come so that the season can be over.
Tell us what your thoughts are. What are your theories about Seok-min? How did he survive this thing? And do not forget to like this video, share, and subscribe to We Are Binge-watching. My name is Enifomem.
And I am Voke. Until next time, do take good care of yourself. Goodbye.